Hello everybody, welcome to Pawns and Swords. This is an overview of Dungeon Universalis 1.3 2023 Kickstarter all-in pledge. Why am I making this video? Because, well, maybe you consider buying, but you are confused with what you should actually buy because there are so many options of this game available. Or maybe you already bought the game, but you are confused with what the contents actually are. First, let me start with a few sentences of overview of the game. In my opinion, this game is a pen and paper RPG on the board. It's on the level of Dungeons & Dragons 5.0 complexity, but you can actually play it solo and cooperatively. This game is kind of like a holy grail of dungeon delving fans. This is going to be a long video. I will put timestamps in video description so that you can skip to the part you are interested in. I will show you all the components and I will also tell you what's not in the all-in pledge. So let me first start with the base game. What you see here, these cards, these components are the components of the base game only. In this edition 1.3, it comes in a standard size box, similar to Talisman or 4th edition and Mistfall and many other games. This is the core box of the game, and the creators of this game were able to make the box smaller because, as you might see in a second, Standees and tiles are not included in the core game. However, it's extremely heavy because it's packed with a ton of other components. The only thing you just need to remember that if you do not own miniatures or other standees, and if you don't own tiles, you need to buy them separately, because if you buy the core game only, you will not be able to play. So this is something to remember about. In the base game, in this core box, you have this set of dividers and this set of dividers, which is a relic of previous edition of the huge box, which included an insert. However, in this version 1.3 there is no insert, so if you do not make your own insert by yourself, you will basically not be able to use these dividers. They are cool, but without an insert, they aren't very useful. In the core game, you only have a single sheet of counters. I think it's not much. I think you need more. There is a separate sheet of counters in the, I believe, Standees 1 box. So you also have to have it in mind. You also get the board. The board is two-sided. On one side, you have a beautiful map of ocean for, I guess, sea encounters. As you see, there's like a grid here. But you will most often use the other side of the board to travel around the beautiful world of Alaska. As you can see, it's a beautiful mounted map, and it's quite big. All your adventures will be set in on this map. You have to bear in mind that in New Challenges expansion there is another map like that, which depicts the western part of northwestern part of this continent. But in the core box you have this map only. You also get a beautiful, huge rulebook, beautiful illustrated rulebook that is humongous. It is really big. However, you should note the rulebook has, I think, 125 pages, so it's quite big, quite large. However, you should bear in mind that it's written very descriptively. It's kind of like Games Workshop style, if you know what I mean. It's not like a war game manual rule book. It's not GMT and Washington's War or other GMT games style of rulebook. It's very, very descriptive. There's a lot of illustrations inside. There's a lot of examples. So you shouldn't be afraid of this game. It's rated, I guess, 4.3 out of 5 on a complexity rating on Board Game Geek. And in my personal opinion, it is not a valid mark. This game is not very complicated. It is quite complicated, but it has a level of complexity, in my opinion, of a medium heavy war game, kind of like Conflict of Heroes or Band of Brothers or other war games of this kind. However, you also should remember that you actually, especially if you play cooperatively, you actually need a single player who knows the rules very well, and all the others can easily follow the leader. So, because in some circles this game is considered a heavy game, creators of this game wrote a basic rulebook. It's an excerpt from the main rulebook. And basic rulebook is only 39 pages. However, it doesn't include many important and really fun features. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really make much sense to use the basic rulebook. I would dive all in and try to read and memorize the rules from the main rulebook. This game is also widely known for its amazing bestiary. And as I said, in my opinion, this game is an RPG. It's this bestiary is really very good. It has a lot of details. It has a lot of creatures, a lot of species, and you have to also remember that, if I remember correctly, in one of the expansions, I think encounters, you get a bestiary too. Another like this one, full of species and creatures and rules. So this game, why did I say that it's on par with Dungeons and Dragons 5.0? Because Dungeons and Dragons 5.0, as far as I'm concerned, is the best edition of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's much more streamlined than, for example, D&D 3.5. And I think this game is even more streamlined than D&D 5.0. The last book that you receive in the core box is Campaign and Quest book. So if you don't want any spoilers, just fast forward it. I will not show much. I will just show you more or less how the book looks inside. It's like it's really nice. All the books are very well laid out and very beautiful. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the cards. This game includes 1012 cards. It is very heavy. This box is really very heavy and there's a lot of cards. There are 570 poker size cards and 442 mini euro size cards. So here are the class cards. Class cards look like this. When you create a hero, you begin with choosing a race. These are race cards. These are race cards. There is a ton of races. amphibians, dogfolk, centaurs, shard mines, elves, dark elves, dwarves, catfolk, goblins, humans, halflings, minotaurs, ogres, orcs, ratfolk, reptilians, trolls, vampires, treefolk, celestials, cyclops, beastmen, infernals, birdfolk, renegade dwarves. As you see, there are both good, neutral, and evil races. And when you create a character, you choose a race, and then you choose a class. So you have rogues, obviously, animist, assassin, battle dancer, barbarian, bard, sorcerer, knight, witch hunter, scout, gladiator, forester, warrior, runic master, wizard, underworld sorcerer, warrior monk, ranger, necromancer, paladin. All these cards tell you what are the advantages of the specific class and disadvantages, and which skills do you get when you level up. Then we have mercenaries, because if you don't want to play with a full party of leveling up full-fledged characters, you can use mercenaries. These are simplified heroes, one might say, like kind of with limited features, so they are much simpler to use on the table if you can't remember, for example, all the skills of all the heroes. Because obviously, if you play with a full party of 4 heroes, at some point they might have quite a lot of skills, quite a lot of equipment. It might be kind of difficult to remember all that, especially if you play solo. Then there are beasts and creature cards, because of course, as in most fantasy settings, you can have a familiar, a pet dog, an eagle, a horse, dragon cub, crow, familiar spirit, cat, gorilla, great cat, wolf, monkey, bear, dog, warhound, giant rat, unicorn, devourer, goat, moose, great spider, wild boar, dire wolf, falcon, owl, tree giant, stone giant, iron giant, werewolf, fire elemental, water elemental, air elemental, stone elemental. Then we have 42 special elements cards. Crystal Vein, Wandering Merchant, Dwarf Tavern, Orc Brothel, Dead Adventurer, Gelatinous Cube, Grasping Roots. Many different features that you might find in the dungeon or outside during your adventures. There are also 32 furniture cards. So this game has quite a lot of props, and there are separate cards, 32 of them, which describe what specific props do. So you can find bonfire, archery target, training dummy, stables, horse-drawn carriage, alembic, latrine, empty with irregular surface, throne, trapdoor, crate, water well, sorcery table, spice table, alchemy table, torture machines, empty fountain, forge, statues, beds, dining room, columns, kitchen, fireplace, library, armory, cupboard, amphoras or containers, barrels and boxes. And all these have special rules that are described on these cards. So as you see, the level of, I don't want to use the word complexity, but options or the descriptive value of the rule set is immense. I would say it's something really new in the world of board games. So you also get 85 dark player cards. These are the cards that the dark player, the player who plays the dark player, or the artificial dark player, uses to harass the heroes in many different ways. So, wandering creatures, ambush, enemy spotted, traps, special creature, reinforcements, vigilant watchman, riddles, alarm, block of stone, fireball, terrifying canticles, leg hold trap, poison dart, electric shock, and so on and so on. There's like a ton of them, and the dark player has quite an impressive arsenal to use them against the heroes. This huge stack, on the other hand, is a set of 96 spell cards that are used both by the heroes, the magic users, and the evil sorcerers of different species met in the dungeon. So you have different schools of magic, from animism through tribal magic, through channeling magic, through nature, fire, water, corruption. There's like a ton of them. So these are magic cards. This is interesting. These are cards that are called danger in campaign cards. These are various evil plots that follow heroes on the world map, and they are marked with a specific token. And if they meet the heroes, they move each round. They move one space towards the heroes, and when they meet the heroes, you draw a card and check what actually happens. And then there's another huge stack of cards, 110 travel event cards. These are these cards. So when the hero's party travels along the map, on the world map, each round they have to draw a card, one of these cards. If they roll this number or higher, then the event happens, and there are like quite a few types of these cards. As you can see, I think this one is for city, there's one for village, there's one for palace, I think, or castle or something like this, for road events, plains events, um, forest events, and so on and so on. This stack is quite huge, so these are event cards, and they make traveling quite unique. Then we have 35 pre-designed heroes cards, together with 15 cards, narrative cards for 15 heroes. And also there are some blank cards to make your own heroes if you like. So these are pre-designed heroes. The interesting thing is that only 15 of them, the ones that are here, have the narrative cards, and these are also the heroes with narrative cards are also heroes that come in the miniatures expansion, together with the quest book for heroes. There's like, I will show it to you later, there's like a separate quest book for individual kind of private quests for heroes. And on the other side of these narrative cards, there's like description. Then there are 24 places and services cards. As I showed you on the world map, every town, city, and village has a specific set of places and services. So, for example, as you can see, this is a large city, so it has quite a the party has quite a big choice of services and places. This city, on the other hand, or village or whatever, is quite small and has only 2 places and services. So as the party travels around the world, it can visit different cities with different set of services and places. And these are the symbols that correspond to the event cards deck, so that you know which event cards you should draw. This is a road, these are plains, this is a city, this is a larger city, and so on and so on. So these are the special places and services cards, and here is simply a description of what specific service or place does and what the heroes can achieve there, or buy, or heal, or sleep, and so on and so on. So now here we have 11 creature behavior cards. These are very interesting because they drive the AI in the game if you play solo or cooperatively. So you have different AI schemes for aquatic creatures, undead, animals and vermin, large huge creatures, sorcerers, battle sorcerers, berserkers, melee fighters, ranged fighters, flying creatures, and the big bad guy has his own separate AI card. Next deck is quick reference cards. These are quick reference cards, and there's quite a lot of them. So they are double-sided and quite useful. Here, for example, is a reference card for gaining achievement points. And there's also one card, I will not show it to you because I don't want to spoil it for you, of Rasbal. Then we have the mini cards, mini European cards. So this is a huge deck of magic objects. This is a bit smaller deck of relics. This is a deck of treasures. These are common object cards. Pack of provisions, incendiary arrows, antidote, vigorous mead, lantern, squeaky bird, squeaky bug, mushrooms of frenzy, string of garlic and crucifix, mandrake root, and so on and so on. The next pile are special object cards. Potions, components for magic, healing potions, Greek fire strength potion, heroic potion, magic scroll, poison flask, etc. Then you have 18 armor cards. Leather armor, studded armor, elven armor, scale armor, chainmail, yoroi, breastplate, full armor, superior armor, lorica segmentata, the Roman armor, Larnier armor. You have also a separate deck for shields. Improvised shield, other shield, another shield, buckler, elven shield, dwarf steel shield, great shield. Then you have melee cards, weapon cards. Spears, lances, whip, morningstar, greatsword, flail, mace, trident, serrated sword, forks, great forks, fossil sword, scythe, kopeshi sword, kusarigama, gladiator scissors, falcata sword, makwa whip, hammer, iron fist, saber, and many others. There are 65 melee weapon cards. You also get 30 ranged weapon cards. Arquebus, composite bow, short bow, elven bow, long bow, crossbow, repeating crossbow, blowgun, sling with lead projectiles, javelin, handgun, net, heavy javelin, crossbow pistol, shuriken. So as you see, there's many options. Here are the skill cards. These are the nature, so-called nature skill cards, so kind of like innate abilities. 25 exploration and subterfuge cards, 40 combat skill cards, and 25 scholarly and leadership cards. You also get dice in the base game, of which the most important is this one because it's a unique AI dice, and checkbook, notepad of 50 blank hero creation sheets. So this is everything you get in the base box, and you cannot play without standees or monsters, obviously, and tiles. So I will show you standees and tiles 1, which are for the main campaign of the core box. This is tile set box 1, which contains 15 punch-out sheets of 166 total map-related tiles and 2 trackers. There is 41 map tiles, serially numbered from 1 to 42. There's no number 9. And there are also 125 map overlay tiles. There is no 111 in the base game. It comes in tile set 2. And you get also Standees Bestiary box 1, which contains 8 punch-out sheets of 318 standees. I will show you how it looks. It also includes bases for standees. They're of decent quality. I would say nothing spectacular, but they're fine. They look good. They have 2 sides, however, no back and front. Both sides are the same. One side has this shield number. They're good quality, functional. If you don't have miniatures, this is what you use. And here you have tile set 1. I must admit that tiles are really beautiful. I really like them. There is additional counter sheet, as you see, and there's a ton of tokens, props, and tiles, sorry. High resolution, very beautiful art. I really like them. They're quite thick, not super thick. I don't think it's 2 millimeters. I think it's 1 or 1.5. But they are thick and sturdy. No question about it. Now let's go to the fun stuff. I also wanted to point out, I have noticed something. This is the counter sheet from the base game, from the base box, the core box. And this one is from the Standees one. And on the website of Ludwig Dragon, there is a statement that the core game doesn't include counters necessary to play. So I think you need tileset 1 in order to play or substitute these counters in some other way. Because as you see on this sheet, there are no counters of quite a few types included on the sheet in the tileset 1. So that's something to remember. Because for example, you have more mana tokens. These are mana tokens. They're also here. You have these counters as well. However, in the core box, you don't get these counters, for example, and quite a few other types. So that's something to consider. Okay, so now on to Encounters expansion. This is the box. It's a little bit smaller than the core box. And in this expansion, you get Campaign and Quest Book 2, 92 pages, Bestiary 2, another book with a lot of creatures to kill, and Bestiary cards, 192 large cards, and these are really important in my personal opinion. So I laid out everything that's included in the expansion. Spoiler alert, I'm going to flip through the Campaign and Quest Book 2. It includes one big campaign, the Nightstone, and a few smaller campaigns. Tales of Fangs and Claws, The King of Spiders, The Collector from Tammy, The Totem Island, and a few independent quests. I'm just gonna quickly flip through the book. It's indeed 92 pages, 93 actually pages long. The second book, Bestiary 2. Here is the list of creatures you get. I will quickly flip through the book. Ogre Kingdoms, Renegade Dwarves, Evil Dwarves, Forgotten Pharaohs, kind of like Two Kings of Camry, Halfling Towns, Kingdom of New Iberia, Wood Elves, Troll Kingdoms, Bird Folk, Kobolds, Ape Kingdoms, Sierrans, Amazons, Cultists, Witch Hunters, Wolfen, Korgan Nomads of the Steppes, Sumer Civilization, Desert Tribes and Kingdoms, Kingdom of Bible, Kingdom of the Eye of Fire, Followers of the Claw, heavily inspired by the Isengard orcs, in my opinion. Cave goblins and minor orcs, heavily inspired by the Moria goblins from the Lord of the Rings. Kingdom of the White Tree, looks very similar to Gondor from the Lord of the Rings. Horse Lords, Children of the Kraken and Dragoness, House of Valania Orion, House of Valania Longbay, Prehistoric Animals, Dinosaurs, and Bestiary cards. These are really useful because they include a detailed explanation and description of the creature, for example, and they include also the stats for specific weapons, so you do not need to check them in the cards or in some other table, and they include a detailed description of skills of the creature, so you have everything you need in one place, and it makes the game much quicker. In my opinion, these are a must-have. So here's the description with guidelines which tells you how to use these cards. Legendary encounters and quests, special creatures, wandering creatures, and they have been designed to help you out with the first campaign. They show you which creatures you might stumble on in the first campaign. I want to flip through them, however, because they also tell you which creatures you might stumble upon. And if you have miniatures, they also can be a guideline of which miniatures you should paint first if you want to play with painted miniatures. So I will go through them so that you know which creatures are included, because not all factions from the Bestiary one are included in this deck. Creatures of the Night. Description, most common skills, which standees you might use, spawn table. The spawn table is identical to the one in the Bestiary. Lord of the Dead. They're also cool because the graphics included on them are colorful and tell you much more than just the black outline that you have in the Bestiary books. Undead Champion, Wraith, Vampire, Necromancer, Witch, Ghost, Barrow Guardian, Werewolf, Spectral Wolf, Mummy, Necrophagus, which is kind of a ghoul to me, Skeleton, Zombie. Okay, now we go to Great Oak Tribes. Spawn table. Orc Warlord, Orc Shaman Boss, Orc Boss, Orc Assassin, Orc Shaman, Common Troll, Black Oak, Orc Champion, Nock Gang, for those who know Warhammer Fantasy. These are snotlings, basically. Direwolf, Wild Oak, Warrior, Shooter, and that's it. Now on to Goblin clans. Spawn table, Goblin King, Goblin Shaman, Goblin Champion, Common Troll, Suicidal Goblin, Mad Goblin, Devourer. I think Squigs will be great for Devourers. Norgang, again, Snotlings for me. Direwolves, Great Spider, Goblin Warrior, Goblin Shooter, and that's all. Northern Barbarians. Second, same card. I'm wondering if I'm missing any card. Spawn Table, which was surprisingly in a completely different place. At first I thought I don't have this card in my deck, but I found it. So you should really check the contents of your boxes, all boxes, very thoroughly. Clan Lord. Hunter. Barbarian Shaman. Common Troll. Lycanthrope. Direwolf. Wolf. Ogre. Fanatic. Barbarian Champion. Warrior. Shooter. Okay, on to demons. Demon Spawn Table. Demon Prince. Underworld Sorcerer. Demon Sorcerer. Thousand Eyes, which is basically a beholder. Lord of War. I would say Greater Demon of Corn. Lord of Pleasure. Greater Demon of Slaanesh. Lord of Decay. Greater Demon of Nurgle for Warhammer fans. Abyssal Aberration, also known as Chaos Spawn in the old world. Winged Demon. She-Devil. I'm gonna use Demonate miniatures for these ones. Hellhound. Igneous Demon. Demon Warrior. Demon Warrior. Bearer of Decay. Plague Bearer. Imp. And Devastators. These are beings very similar to Chaos Warriors. Spawn Table. Lord of the Apocalypse. Devastator Warlord. Underworld Sorcerer. Devastator. An Ogre. Direwolf. Barbarian Warrior. Barbarian Shooter. And that's it. Now, Hosts of Bandmore. Spawn Table. Rasbal, which I guess is the main big bad guy. Demon Prince. Underworld Sorcerer. War Demon. Abyssal Aberration. Thousand Eyes. Demon Warrior. Winged Demon. Minotaur. Hellhound, Cultist, Abyssal Worm, Urok Warrior, Urok Shooter, okay, now on to Bandits. This is the first faction that you meet in the game, as far as I know. So you should consider painting these miniatures first. Spawn table, Bandit Boss, Outlaw Sorcerer, Assassin, Elf Bandit, Dwarf Bandit, Ogre Bandit, Orc Bandit, Warhound, Goblin Bandit, Ratfolk Bandit, Human Bandit, Shooter, and that's it for bandits. Human Kingdoms. Spawn table, Noble, Wizard, Warrior Priest, Great Master, Paladin, Knight, Personal Guard, Ranger, Religious Fanatic, Warhound, Soldier, Shooter, Militiaman, and that's it for Human Kingdoms. Now on to Tai Shing Empire. Spawn table. Captain, Warrior Monk, Executioner, Elite Warrior, Warrior, and that's it. Now on to courses. Spawn table, Captain, Shaman, Pirate Hero, Pirate Brute, Veteran Pirate, Pirate, and that's it for courses. Fantastic Insects. Spawn table, Giant Worm, Giant Spider, Giant Scorpion, Giant Myriapod, Giant Wasp, Great Scorpion, Giant Ant, Great Spider, Dragons, Fire Dragon, Bone Dragon, Minor Dragon, Dragon Cub, and I think this is where other creatures begin. Earth Elemental, Fire Elemental, Water Elemental, Air Elemental, Dire Wolf, Golem, Stone Giant, Giant, Giant Lizard, Giant Snake, Megalodon, wow, that's interesting, Kraken, or Kraken. Atin, it's basically a two-headed giant. Chimera, Cerberus, a bear, a swarm, jungle snakes, bats, lion, python, a crocodile, a wolf, a common troll, a mimic, a monkey, a crow, a gorgon, and that god, which is a big bad boss in one of the campaigns. So, one more thing to mention. These cards, Bestiary cards, come with this awesome box. However, if you sleeve them, as you see, it's absolutely impossible to stack them in the box because the stack is too large. So that's unfortunate, but nothing serious. Okay, let's move on to the next part of the all-in pledge. Okay, let's talk about new challenges expansion. It comes in such a box. It's the same size box like Encounters expansion. What do we get here? Campaign and Quest Book 3. 92 pages, a lot of new quests. New campaign map board, northwest zone of Araska front and dungeon. New challenges book, new rules, actions, bulletin board, skirmishes, crafting. 96 bestiary cards, 288 cards. So I put it all on the table, and these are the contents of new challenges. As mentioned, you get a new campaign and quest book. Spoilers alert, I will flip through it, so if you want to be surprised, be my guest and fast forward it. So these are actually few medium-sized campaigns. Under the Cities, the Scourge of Zeus, Distant Enemies, and a few independent quests. I will just flip through it. Under the Cities involves Ratfolk, as far as I know. Scourge of Zeus is dealing with Thracians, ancient Greek-like faction. And Distant Enemies, I don't know it. Independent quests, Sea Assault, Garm River Swamps, Abandoned Church, The Lord of Grizzly Bear Clan, Mystery in the Sewers, Devastators in Lizonia. Devastators is a faction quite similar to Chaos Knights in Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So this is it, Campaign and Quest Book 3. Beautiful artwork. The heart of this expansion, this is New Challenges rulebook. It's not very thick. It has around, 40 pages, I guess. Yes, 38. Actually, almost exactly 40 pages. it includes new rules, skirmishes, personal event quests, notice board missions. So I will also flip through it. It also describes more or less the contents of the expansion. So new rules, personal events, feat points, notice board. Notice board are like additional quests that your party can execute during its journeys. Personal events are additional quests, personal for each and every hero. Feat points are points that heroes can spend to improve their characteristics. We have up and random scenarios, semi-random scenarios. There is a description how to develop them. Locating settlements. Weather and time roll. You can include weather and time. In your quests in Araska. Resources and new objects. Yes, this expansion includes resource deck and allows you to craft. Crafting is now a thing in Dungeon Universalis. Searching for new action. There's a new action searching for resources. There is a whole table about crafting, how to craft specific objects. Skirmishes. There is a large part of this book describing skirmishes and allowing you to play Dungeon Universalis as a kind of a skirmish wargame. Game setup, start turns and victory, modified magic rules, example of a warband, scenarios for wargaming. Personal events. These are the quests that correspond to personal event cards that you draw at the beginning of the game. Family First, Lovesick, Family Jewel, Wasn't Me, Poison, Notice Board. Zombie Horde, Transport, Rescue, Farm Work, The Gambling Table, Patrolling, The Hunt, Kitchen Assistants, Bounty Hunters, Turkey Monster. Nice little spider thing. Warband sheet. And first Heralds of Dun contest winners. This is the aforementioned board. On one side you have a map of dungeon to allow you to play skirmishes and semi-random scenarios. It's basically kind of like a checkerboard of a dungeon. And on the other side you have the northwestern part of Araska, which connects to the previous game board from the core game. And here we have Pulse Empire, Kingdom of Ascadia, Kingdom of Alania, Kingdom of Lizonia, Kingdom of Thracia. Thracians are the ancient Greek faction. So this is the board, and here are the cards. So you get a new deck of Bestiary cards. This is the Bestiary cards box, but this is the same issue as with the core game. If you sleeve them, you can't actually put them in the box. So let's take a quick look. What do we have here? It's huge, and especially sleeved. It's difficult to maneuver. So we have Dark Elves. Dark Elves spawn table. Double-sided, obviously. An elf noble, dark elf noble. The cool thing about bestiary cards is that they actually have colorful images of the specific creature, which bestiary book doesn't include. Sorceress, captain, high priestess, great cat, assassin, battle witch, iron god, assailant, spearman, shooter, and this is it. Cultists. Spawn table. Same as in the bestiary book. Sect leader, sorcerer, demon, assassin, fanatic. Then we have Redfolk clans. Spawn table, Rat King, sorcerer, high priest, warlord, engineer, assassin, half ogre or rat ogre, bodyguard, rat horde, elite shooter, marauder, plague monk, warrior, shooter. Then we have Pulse Empire, which is kind of similar to 16th century and 17th century Western European factions. Noble, wizard, war clergyman, great master, captain, hunter, knight, swordsman, warhound, militiaman, shooter, soldier, religious fanatic, and as I mentioned, Thracians or Ares worshippers. You can see easily the influence of ancient Greece. I'm planning to make a video on suggested miniatures. There's actually an awesome Victrix set to assemble for these guys. Taxiarch, Oracle, Sailor Hero, Magic Blacksmith, Thracian Hero, typical hoplite for me, Centaur, Veteran hoplite, hoplite, light armored, Skirmisher. There are fantasy creatures, Basilisk, Gargoyle, Genie, Phoenix Bird, Kagor, which is kind of like four-armed ogre, Boss, Great Gargoyle, Dryad, Hydra, Colossal, Sea Monster, Giant Eagle, Armored Bull, Giant Wolf, Iron Giant, Tree Giant, Flock of Crows, Crystal Feline, Rat Horde, Carnivorous Plant, Cyclops, Scorpion King, Manticore, Griffin, Legendary Dragon, Ice Dragon, Giant Crab, Half Troll, Panther, Giant Bat, Harpy, Ghost, Thousand Eyes, also known as Beholder, Aranhaik Spider-Man. I don't think I would call it Spider-Man, but well, it states Spider-Man. So let's stick to Spider-Man. We get quite a large pile of additional cards. So these are mercenary cards. You can hire a halfling mercenary, goblin thief, swordsman, ranger, and construct. Here is another beast and creature card, Crystal Feline, which is also quite unique. There is quite a big pile of new spell cards. Spell schools that were in the base game get expanded in this expansion, and there are new schools of magic. Burning Ground, Firestorm. These are fire spells. Wound Healing, Flame Strike, Sir, Choke, Magic Mist, Sneaking, Weightless. I think the existing schools of magic get 4 additional spells each, and new schools of magic get more. This is water magic. Walking on water, Ice Bridge, Water Whip, Water Shield. This is Earth, obviously. Jade Arrows, Mud, Gravity Rocks, Stone Bridge, Paralyzing Mark, Unbreakable, Lightning Armor, Dispelling Shield. These are, sorry, the last 3 ones are runic magic, forgot to mention it. So Paralyzing Mark, Unbreakable, Lightning Armor, and Dispelling Shield are all runic magic. Now we get blessings. Fate, Divine Energy, Sphere of Damnation, Risen God. Now we get music, Suggestion, Summon Swarm, Lethal Performance, Heroic Psalm. These are light spells. Light Aura, Great Dispelling, Light Spear, Demon Bane, Soul Leech. I'm thinking Soul Leech is Necromancy, of course. Veil of Darkness from Necromancy, External Hatred, and Regeneration. All Necromancy. And these are Witchcrafts. Break Weapon, Enhancing Warrior, Invisible Strike, Cloak of Shadows. Underworld spells. Death Touch, Summon Demon, Fire Ring, Summon Imps. New corruption spells. Bleeding, Hunger, Panic, Mind Corruption. New tribal spells. Dance of the Gods, War Shield, Gazelle Jump, Power Sweep. New channeling spells. Evanescence, Heal Injuries, Empower, Favorite. New nature spells. Animal Senses, Roots, Summon Pet, Summon Great Pet. New animism spells. Mimetism, Override Obstacles, Will Breaking, Element Aura. You might have noticed that some of these new spells require an Archmage level of the caster. New favor spells. This is a new school of magic. Sacred Flame, Mercy, Repair, Endurance, Detect Good and Evil, Imperative Order, Guided Arrow, Sanctuary, Spirit Scourge, Trap Detection. Okay. And these are from Mentalism, School of Magic. Unlock, Mental Attack, Reading, Mirage, Freeze Time, Master Wills, Confuse, Mind Burst, Teleport, Telekinesis. So as you see, it expands magic cards, spell cards quite a bit. You have much more options. Here are aforementioned personal quest cards, personal events. You killed my father, family first, love sick, family jewel, it wasn't me, poisoned, I'm cursed, gambling debts, one more beer, the magic potion. There are a few cards of characters made by fans. Gregory Cobblestone, Human Wizard. You can notice that they are not 10 VP each. They are often a bit stronger, more developed characters. Gregory Cobblestone, Human Wizard. Barathran, Dark Elf Bard. She's fresh new, or he. Ellie, Human Warrior, worth only 6. A child. Amy, Human Explorer, worth 5. Another child. Drag, Human Wizard, worth 12 VPs. Then you have a new Danger in campaign cards. Poisoned water, strange lightning, outsiders, it's a trap, travel event. New event cards. Vigilant soldiers, provisioned or poisoned, strongman, wandering mercenary, distrustful villagers, curse the outsider, let's get down to work, wrongful execution, festival, wandering adventurer, distrustful villagers, street rascals, shell game artist, snitch, troubled priest, distrustful merchant, blue sorcerer, adventurous nobleman, spider webs, giant eagles, avalanche, poisonous snake, and sandstorm. There are new race cards. Yes, you get to play new races if you want to. The soulless, which is basically some kind of undead. Fairies. Aranhaics, which are half spider, half humans, of sorts. Devastators, you can play with a chaos warrior. Mumaks, which are kind of elephant-like ogres, I guess. Draconians, kind of, well, dragonfolk of sorts. Half-elves, well, that's quite self-explanatory. Kobolds. Zombies, you can play with a zombie, that's new. Iron souls. These are kind of like machines, magic machines with spirit inside. These beings were created for battle by veteran runesmiths. Magic has embedded in them something similar to a soul. Yeah. And when you pick a new race, you also have quite a few new classes to explore. Mentalist, mage, cleric, cleric uses the new favors lore. Thief, duelist, physician. Yes, you can have a doctor in your party, like a proper doctor. Monster hunter, which is, in my personal opinion, heavily inspired by The Witcher. Engineer. You get quite a few new skills. The two new nature skills, poisonous and breath. New subterfuge and exploration skills. Sailing, escapist, setting traps, swap position, feint, watcher, explore terrain, wandering traveler, thief, moving fast. New combat skill cards. Seize, furious, headbutt, opportunity action, door breaking, repositioning, axe skills, mace skills, blocking with 2 axes, duelist, and scholarly and leadership skill cards. Bounty hunter, spell boost, blood for the gods, animal talker, great command, seductive, provoke, blacksmithing, foraging, minerals expert, medicine, controlling construct, divinity channeling, light source, extreme curiosity. You have new resource cards, which are used for crafting. Pink ghosts, blue thistle of Ainam, red breastplate, fairy house, blue dream, sleepless night. These are various plants. Dragon tongue, chameleon plant, sentinel, soldier mushroom, star silver, obsidian point, red crystal, white iron, night jade stone, Norwood, linberries, direwolf's heart, dragon slug, hammerhead beetle. You get quite a few special equipment cards. Anti-magic rune, explosive runes, oracle potion, Lin water potion, bottle darkness, Gypsian brew, sunlight flask, elixir of life, teleporting potion, toad blood potion, evil twig, speed potion, rage potion, chameleon blood potion, crocodile potion, green beverage potion, invigorating potion, banner, moonstone, scroll, water of life, scroll, shield of wind, scroll, fireball, scroll, basic spell, spare part, special lubricant, new common object cards, master key, lucky clover, healing brew, camouflage paints, special shoulder strap, hook, bell, pick, lucky clover. New magic objects cards, fire slingshot, jumping boots, cobblestones grimoire, ear breaker wand, shielding sphere, razor bow, spear from a noble hedge, swift lighting sword. And new melee weapons, kukri, lucerne hammer, battle staff, paring dagger, sai, and zanbato. So this is it. This is what you get in New Challenges expansion. Now let's move to Bestiary Box 2 and Standees Box 2 that are necessary to play the campaigns in this expansion. So these are Tile Set 2 and Standees Bestiary Box 2. So let's take a quick look. First maybe the Bestiary Box 2. You get 288 Standees of 5 different factions and lots of independent creatures. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not planning to use these because I own a huge lot of miniatures, which I collected mainly for Warhammer quests. But let's take a quick look. Bloodfolk clans, dragons, manticore, cyclop, giant crab, some demon, witch hunters, I think, cultists of swords. So these are the standees. They are nice. I really appreciate the quality. They are not maybe outstanding, but very decent, very good graphics. I think they will be functional. And tile set 2. I really love these tiles. They are top-notch quality for me, as far as I'm concerned. They're really beautiful. And this is it. So all the tiles that you get in this set. And now we're gonna move on to other add-ons that you get with the all-in pledge. Okay, so the all-in pledge came with a thank you by the author of the game, which is on the back of the character sheet, cardboard character sheet. It came also with neoprene character sheets, 4 of them, I think, yes. And this organizer. Here is a cardboard box with 11 resin miniatures. Comes with an insert, plastic insert. I will show you the miniatures. They are decent quality. This is one of the heroes, if I remember correctly. This is the big bad guy from one of the campaigns. That one, I think. This is his base, so that you don't think that he lost his base. With resin, you have to be very careful with the miniatures because resin is not the most resilient of all materials. This one is awesome. I really like this miniature. One of the heroes as well. This is the Orc hero. Curved maze is not a problem. I think it will be easily straightened out in hot water. Here is a catfolk hero. Her sword is also a bit bent. Here is the big bad guy from the first campaign, I think, the Rasbal demon. It's a really nice sculpt. I really like him a lot. This is the ogre hero but you can obviously use him for any other ogre in the game. He has a nice snake on his neck. That's really cool. And a huge sword. This is one of the spellcasting heroes. This is some kind of a knight with a bent sword as well. But as I mentioned, I don't think it will be a huge problem. This is a dwarf hero that you probably all know from the rulebook. This is the halfling rogue hero. Very nice miniature. And this is a very cool mini. A goblin hero with his pet rat. So these are the miniatures. And there is also the booklet, special quest book for heroes. Spoilers alert. This is for the heroes from the miniature box. With kind of history of the hero, personal history, and some personal quests. You also get the Demon Under the Mountain short campaign, which consists of 10 quests. It's basically based on the Moria quest from the Lord of the Rings classic. Spoiler alert again. This campaign includes pre-designed heroes that are somewhat similar to the classic figures from history of literature, let's put it this way. And there are also some new magic objects here. And you get some custom dice. I don't think I'm a huge fan of these because I prefer simple dots, but it's a nice touch. 6 is replaced with done, I think, and 1 is replaced with a skull of a monster. 2, 3, 4, 5 is stylized as claw marks. I'm not sure how to put it. But the good thing is you get an additional scenario die, which is useful. So this is everything you get in the all-in pledge. Finally, I wanted to mention a few words about the things you don't actually get in the 2023 all-in pledge, because I was confused myself. You don't get the plastic coins, the Dark Player screen, Dungeon Universalis Perfidia. You don't get the dials, and you also don't get the Snake Island Oracle with a campaign board expansion. These were all parts of the previous Kickstarters, and you could buy them in addition to the all-in pledge on the Ludic Dragon site. It's up to you if you consider them worthy of buying or not. Plastic coins are plastic coins. I think it's a set of 20 plastic coins. Dark Player screen is a fun thing if you also play other RPGs and don't have a Game Master screen yet. It includes a beautiful art on one side and a quick reference rule set on the other side. Dan Perfidia is an expansion in which you give each of the heroes, a secret card that introduces the concept of a traitor in some cases and some other surprises in other cases. Dials are cardboard dials that you can use to note numbers in the game. And the Snake Island Oracle campaign is a 10 quest additional campaign, and that actually looks tempting. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna buy it. So that's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe, like, and comment. I would be very happy to know your opinions. I will do my best to answer all the questions, and see you soon, folks.